Did you hear that Colorado recently lost one of their most famous 14ers, but that it gained a new one? Stay tuned because this is a pretty crazy story. For background, Colorado has 53 mountains that rise above 14,000 feet in elevation, commonly called 14ers, which is by far the most of any state in the country. Until recently, Crestone Peak was thought to be the seventh highest 14er in the state, with an elevation of 14,299 feet. Located in the Sangre de Cristo range of southern Colorado, Crestone Peak is also one of the most impressive 14ers in the state, rising roughly 7,000 feet above the San Luis Valley below. It's also rated as one of the most difficult 14ers to climb. But here's the thing. New research suggests that Crestone Peak might not actually be a 14er at all. How is this possible? Is there any way that previous surveys have been off by nearly 300 feet? Well, per usual, it comes down to prominence. You see, in order to be considered an official 14er, a mountain needs to have at least 300 feet of prominence in addition to 14,000 feet of elevation. That's where East Crestone Peak comes into play. East Crestone Peak is located less than 500 feet from the summit of Crestone Peak. It was long believed to have an elevation of 14,298 feet, or 1 foot shorter than Crestone Peak. However, although it exceeded 14,000 feet in elevation, East Crestone Peak was believed to have only roughly 40 feet of prominence, well less than the 300-foot prominence threshold to be considered an official 14er. Instead, it was widely recognized as a subpeak of Crestone Peak. That was, however, until a recent study surveyed both Crestone Peak and East Crestone Peak in detail and determined that East Crestone was actually the higher of the two. Specifically, the surveyors found that East Crestone was 0.3 feet or about 4 inches higher than Crestone Peak itself. They've since submitted their findings for peer review, and if they're verified, that could have some pretty big implications for mountaineering in the state. East Crestone would become an officially recognized 14er, while Crestone Peak itself would be downgraded to a subpeak of East Crestone. It really makes you wonder about what other mountain elevations we have wrong. Comment your thoughts below and follow for more geography content.